even though you can come back as a business owner and be super excited and right, let's meet, let's get KPIs, let's go, and you're feeling really vested, some people might be feeling a little bit fragile or a little bit vulnerable, or might have had a bit of a difficult holiday period. Phoebe from HR Dynamics.
And Rebecca from HR Dynamics as well. And welcome to 2024 and our new, I'm not sure, do you call it a podcast if it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's always funny. I think we sort of start 2024, and I don't know, do you like the start of the new year or do you dread the start of the new year?
I don't really like New Year's Eve. I feel there's a lot of pressure around New Year's Eve and to have a great night, and I find that quite stressful. And you've just come out of the pressure cooker of Christmas. And, for us, Christmas is generally a busy time as well. So then you kind of come into that pressure cooker of Christmas, and then everyone must have a great time on New Year's. I find
Yeah, I agree.
stressful.
I agree.
But in regards to starting the new year, there's something about January that I really quite like. I like, and this will be no surprise to you, I like, getting just even on the home front, getting the kids' uniforms out and rewashing them and having everything set, ready, organized. I feel like it's a really good reset. What about you?
Yeah, I swing between feeling like super excited and get paralyzed by fear. Like, what if it's a bad year? What if nothing happens? What if nothing goes well? How do I start? So, and then I get really excited and go, right, this is what I want to do. And I want to be more organized and have a better system of getting things done. And yeah, so I really yo-yo in between. But I agree, it's definitely a reset. It definitely is a time to think about what you want to achieve over the year. I think that's kind of important. So I think from us, for our business, and one of the things that we do a lot of that I think is quite good is helping businesses sort of set KPIs and stuff like that for their staff. And so
Yeah,
as we set personal KPIs and work KPIs, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? Like, what do we want them to achieve this year?
and it's interesting talking to Greg, who is, obviously, is our accountant, but for our watchers, listeners, our accountant, even they had a retreat last week where they sat and they did their own personal goals, and then they did their professional goals as well. And I thought that was, interesting. That they, I guess, and I guess maybe it's a reflection of how the workplace has changed as well, that, you bring that personal goal setting into your work goal setting, because it all kind of merges.
Yeah, and I quite like that. Like, I think that there's not this great big barrier between work and home. The two do go across, and it's about being able to mesh those is really important. So if people have got some personal goals that they want to go on holiday or do some extra learning, or financial goals as to what they want to achieve, personally, how does that impact them with their work, be it taking time off or the ability to get a better bonus or a higher pay rate and things. So you can sort of subtly pull those together. Though, some people want to keep those very strong boundaries, Rebecca. We hear about that sometimes, some staff. Strong boundaries, personal.
Have a lot of boundaries with each other, so our
No,
work
we don't
always meshed as to one.
Yeah, we don't get that whole boundary side of things. But no, I think it is a good time to. I do hate a lot of the cliche sort of stuff that we get in the memes and the social media and things like that come through.
So, which I knew you would. So I've prepared some, which will not be a surprise to you, because I'd love to get your thoughts on some of these memes. So this one, your real competition isn't other people. It's your procrastination, your ego, the unhealthy food you eat. You will agree with that one. Your lack of discipline, your distractions, the knowledge you neglect to learn, your bad habits, the negative behaviors you keep doing, and your self-doubt.
Look, it's kind of true, isn't it? I can't argue any of that, but it's just
not as easy as that, is it?
No, and human nature is that we do all of these things and you just feel worse about yourself. Like, I kind of like the more uplifting ones. These are the things that you need to do, not about these are all the things you're shit at. Okay, what's the next one? Leaders must see strengths of their co-workers as a complement to their weaknesses, not as a threat to their position or authority. I'm just trying to get my head around that weird diagram that they've got at the top.
And the whole, I think it's sounds a little AI written to me.
It does sound a little AI. I do agree though. Like, one of the things that I find working, and we've got a new member of the team, is I don't really have an issue as to that there's areas that she's not going to know or be good at. That's fine. Because we can support and train, or we've got complementary skills within the team. I think the problem is when people don't acknowledge it, or they're not awareness. There's a lack of awareness, and this definitely starts from the top. Those dickhead, can I say, often males who think they know everything, and they have a real fear of showing any vulnerability or thinking that some of their staff may be stronger in certain areas. I just think that's really old-fashioned.
I think
tick for that one.
Tick for this one, even though it's
thumbs down for the whole diagram and the way it's AI written, but I'm going to do a thumbs up for actually what they're saying. I think it's really important.
Well, I think we've always done this too, Phoebe. I mean, we know that we're not the, if you...
But I can't spell.
You can't spell. And that, we've got some incredible, Kylie with her rates, and, Deanne just with her IR, and, Deanna, the way she represents people in Fair Work. I think, we've always surrounded ourselves, with people
We've strategically employed people that are better than us in areas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worked well for us. We don't have a fear of that. I think that's good. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, wow, this is another
I feel
one.
like I'm back at school.
The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not a bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humour but without folly. Oh, this is your old mate, Jim Rohn.
Yeah, Jim Rohn. Yes, I guess that's all true, but it's like, I don't know.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words.
It feels very stressful. And just two more, because there's a lot of words, we've got to get through. Don't worry about people copying me. Your next move can't happen till I make mine. You'll always be behind. Oh, that's quite full on.
Well, I actually quite like that though. Like, and the reason that I like that is that I think that we shouldn't be fearful that there's other good HR practitioners around, because there's the more people that are doing it, that are preaching the importance of it, the better it is for the industry, and the further ahead we can go. So I don't think that, I think it should be a compliment to people copying and doing what you're doing. Obviously, there's intellectual property and blah, 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 blah. But I think that, I like that.
And last one, leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better.
Yeah, I like that. I think that it does go back to leadership is about making everybody shine. Leadership isn't about putting yourself on top of a pedestal. I don't know. Do you like that one?
I actually quite like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it is, good leadership allows everyone to feel valued and part of the team, and to be able to work at a really high level. So it's very easy to say that, much harder to do it, but yeah, thumbs up. We like that one.
Excellent. So how has your I'll stop screen sharing now if I can work out how to do that. There we go. How has your start to the year gone? Because it's been an interesting one for both of us. You've had COVID, I've had influenza. It hasn't been our strongest start.
Look, yeah, it's been a challenging one for me. The cat got run over, died. Steve's, my husband's father, died in Amsterdam. So we had like holiday fares to get him across there. And he wasn't with us for Christmas. Captain Cook Highway, for me to be able to get down to Cairns, is closed. So instead of taking an hour each way, it's 2.5 hours each way, or 2 hours to get there. And we just keep getting this rain, so there's mold everywhere. Everything sticks. I know. Can I keep whinging?
You didn't have water for 5 days, and you didn't have power.
Water. Yeah, we didn't have water. We didn't have power. So all in all, I feel it's been a very
And you've
rough,
had COVID.
and I got COVID. Yes, and I don't like doing sick. I'm like to consider
Really? I
myself.
hadn't noticed.
Yes, and I I like to say I don't get sick. And so I definitely feel very sorry for myself when I do get sick. And like with COVID, I just get knocked over. I have zero energy, can't do anything. So I've been a whingy mother as well. So yeah, I've had better starts to the year. But I don't know, sun's shining today. Keep moving forward. How about you?
Oh, look, it's been we had an interesting Christmas. We had some visitors that stayed with us, but for whatever reason it was a bit of a clash, and I realized that I'm quite I like things in a certain way.
I hate having people stay.
I know, I
I've
don't
never
do.
been good at having people stay. You needed a good dose of boarding school.
So and that's been something, I guess, bit of a realization for me as well. And then my really good friend came to stay, which actually there was no dramas there, but then I got influenza, so she had to leave too. So it's been a bit of a not great, is it us? And just that, I guess, that realization that we work really hard, and we are often at work and running around after children and all of that sort of stuff, and home is just not an area that I'm good at having other people in. That was a bit of an interesting realization for me as well.
And I think it's good when you do that self-acknowledgement with it as well. Like it's not really to do with the other person, it's more about yourself. And I think that's right for what you're saying. You have a lot going on in your life. So just to have that pressure of feeling like, but you're different. Like if people come over, I have no issues if the floor's not vacuumed and there's dirty dishes around. Whereas you can't cope with that.
No, I can't cope with that, and that's been and that's so it's been and obviously then being sick. I do not recommend all four people in the household getting influenza in the last week of school
No.
holidays. That's probably not what I'd recommend. But other than that, I feel I did a bit of reflection after Christmas, and I feel really ready to start 2024, albeit a couple of weeks late, but to start, the boys are really ready to go back to school. They're in a really good place, and yeah, I feel really excited about the year ahead. And I've even done a bit of my own goal setting, and what is it that I want, and I think that's been a really good start to the year. And um and also less, that my big thing is less apologizing. I'm terrible at having people in the house. I'm just going to own that from now on.
Mm,
That's just I just, yeah.
mm,
So
mm.
I think less apologizing, less, just getting on with it this year is really the plan. So less sickness.
Yeah, you had a bad year of sickness last year in your household. So
Yeah.
yeah, and look, I think this is reflective for all of us. So, and I think it's really important that we're really mindful of that in our workplaces. That there's a lot of stuff that's often happening in people's personal lives, and people staying, and stressful times, and challenging, and financial issues. And so even though you can come back as a business owner and be super excited and right, let's meet, let's get KPIs, let's go, and you're feeling really rested, some people might be feeling a little bit fragile or a little bit vulnerable, or might have had a bit of a difficult holiday period. So I'm not saying that you should put the pressure on and say, right, we need to hit these goals for the year. But I just think you have to be have some awareness, and be a little bit mindful of how everyone in the team is actually tracking, and make sure you're pulling them along and you're not leaving people behind as you settle for the year ahead. So
Yeah,
great.
and I think that's excellent. So our little whatever we're calling these YouTube podcast things, we're going to do them more regularly, and discuss HR issues. So in the comments below, write what you'd like us to talk about, and if you'd like to be a guest, and be interviewed by Phoebe and myself, let us know as well.
Yeah, we've got lots of exciting things happening this week. There's going to be lots of sort of focus groups. Leaders can come in. We're going to be setting up some forums for HR professionals to come in. We've got lots of different products and that we're wanting to launch. So we've got a big community of businesses, and I think that if we can pull that together a little bit more this year, and it would be really exciting. I think it's certainly a good way to kind of build energy and support. Because what's interesting is that when we're dealing with businesses, you know, so many other business owners have experienced the same frustration. So if we can kind of pull some forums together and work out how do we deal with these staffing challenges and these leadership challenges or turnover or, you know, getting the best performance or setting KPIs, and we can build more of a community around that, I think it would be super valuable. So that's some of our goals and some of the things that we're wanting to do. We're not going to get it all right, first of all. We really welcome feedback and ideas as to what we can do and how we can make it work. But please, you know, stay tuned and let us know what you want to hear from us and how we can help you and your business and your team obviously achieve those goals.
Excellent. Well, go forth and conquer 2024.
Yes, move forward.